Tonight, Iran is calling America dangerous, insisting the U.S. is setting a bad precedent by denying a visa for a man involved in the 1979 Iranian hostage crisis. Now, that's when 52 Americans were held hostage for 444 days in the most unthinkable conditions. Hamid Abu Talabi is Iran's UN ambassador pick, but now he can't even get close to the United Nations. So will this destroy our talks with Iran? Joining us is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I assume that you agree totally that this man should be denied a visa to the United States?
Totally. Absolutely. It's a bad precedent to allow somebody who is involved in overrunning an American embassy and holding people hostage for over 400 days to come to our nation as an ambassador from another country, the Iranians. I think it's offensive to the hostages, their families. It's offensive to us as Americans for the Iranians to even propose this.
Now, I totally agree with that, but the one thing that sort of is a little bit of a thorny problem here is the law. Do we have a problem with the law as the host for the UN in terms of denying a visa to a chosen ambassador by a foreign country?
No, we can deny admission to this country for national security reasons. I think it would be bad for our national security to basically forgive someone for taking Americans hostage, because what you would be doing is setting a precedent to encourage people to violate the law and get rewarded for it. So from a national security point of view, we should have an ironclad policy. If you overrun an American embassy and you take Americans hostage, you're never going to come to the UN.
All right. Well, he says he was merely a translator negotiator. I don't care. It makes no difference to me. I only point that out as Iran's position. And, you know, the thing is, it wasn't just hostage-taking. What they did to the Americans is absolutely appalling. So it's not just that this was a hostage-taking. It was so much more.
And here's the question. Why are they doing this? If they're really sincere about wanting to reach a peaceful resolution of their nuclear program, why would they do this to begin with? This really tells you all you need to know about this Iranian regime. They're a bunch of thugs. They've been the largest state sponsor of terrorism for the last 30 years. They killed our American soldiers in Iraq, providing weapons to people in Iraq to kill American soldiers. They're trying to develop a nuclear weapon, not a peaceful power program. And this is just tells you all you need to know about the Iranians.
All right. Now, many people think it was dead in the water to begin with, but are our negotiations now with Iran over the nuclear weapon program, which incidentally they deny that they have, but we don't believe them, are now those negotiations dead in the water? And so now what? I assume that they will go full speed ahead, or am I wrong?
Well, I'm sure they'll probably continue to negotiate, but here's what you need to understand about the negotiations. The Obama administration is about to give the Ayatollahs in Iran the right to enrich uranium. This is what they did with North Korea. They allowed the North Koreans a small enrichment program, and they were going to monitor it with the UN weapons inspectors. Well, guess what? And they had sanctions. The North Koreans have nuclear weapons. We're on the path to repeat in Iran the same mistakes we had in North Korea. I am begging the Obama administration, if the Iranians have a nuclear power program, fine. Just control the fuel cycle. Do not allow them to enrich uranium. You'll have a North Korean result on your hand. And in the Mideast, if the Iranians get a nuclear capability, Sunni Arabs are going to want one of their own, and you're on the road to Armageddon. What
do you think? What do you imagine Prime Minister Netanyahu is thinking tonight as he watches this battle, the U.S. denying the visa and Iran sort of firing back with a covert threat on the United States? Covert threat, I mean, on the negotiations. I don't mean that they're going to, fire a weapon at us.
I think he's watching the Ukraine, and another example of where we're basically abandoning a friend in the Ukraine. He remembers the red lines in Syria. Now you have the Iranians directly in an offensive way confronting the United States. So if I'm the Prime Minister of Israel, I have to really ask myself, can I count on America anymore? And my view is that he's going to have to say, no, he can't.
Senator, nice to see you, sir.
Thank you.